The word refugee to me means someone who has been forced to leave home, and no one deserves to have to leave their place that they call home. Everyone deserves to feel safe.
It's someone that has been forced to leave home, not out of choice, and is seeking a safer place. It is not for better education and for better medicine, which is what people think. You know, people come here, seek refuge because they're wanting just like an experience for a better life. It's because they're forced out of their home. So a refugee to me is someone that's seeking a safer place because they've had to leave home.
So to me it means someone who is somewhere where they need to get away to safety, and what it means to me here is it's someone that needs to be welcomed so that they can build their lives again, settle again, emerge as themselves again, just find their new life and then their new selves here, as well as bringing their old selves here. So, yeah.
Essentially means to me someone who's in need. That's it. Like, I don't look beyond that. It's a person who's in need. It's a person who's been forced out of their home. It's a person who's desperate, who's lonely, who's scared. Like, I just think of the humane aspect of that, and I just think that I would never want to feel like that, and if I ever was in that position, I would need help. So it's a person in need.
My name is Basil Sheikh, and I'm living here in Hastings. I'm really enjoyed today to be with the people. I feel very comfortable when I saw them today holding the banners. And I thought I'm lonely here, but I feel my family around me. I've really enjoyed to see people say welcome to us as refugee in Hastings. It was very, very peaceful around us. Thank you for everything they do for us. Thank you for everything. I appreciate that. I thought I don't speak English very well, but I hope you can understand me. Yes. It was very, very nice to see the people around us take picture for us and welcome, smiling all the time. It was very, very nice. I really appreciate that.
We need to continue making our voices heard, because if not them, it would be us. They're the most vulnerable group out there at the moment. When you think of refugees, they're in the most vulnerable positions, and that's why we need to be shouting their names, and we need to be making sure that their voices is heard and that their plight is heard. And I think that kind of, it definitely connects back to Black Lives Matter, and it definitely connects back to racism, xenophobia, that kind of thing. That same ideology is forced upon migrants and refugees, and they're pushed out of our communities and treated as if they're aliens when they're just human. No human is illegal, and I think that's imperative that we understand that.
So we wanted to do something to demonstrate our support for the people making this trepidatious journey to search for a better life. They're being driven for many reasons, but as one of the biggest manufacturers of and exporters of arms in the world, the UK has a duty to treat these people with compassion, and we just wanted to show our support for people.
It just is a huge issue that we have to highlight. I'm constantly trying to educate people about this on social media, which is incredibly hard because a lot of people are very, well, it's wrong and that's that, and it's just like you need to show people a more human side of it, and I think that's something that Hastings is very good at, so I think that sums it up really.
It's so important for everyone to make a stand, but for me it means a lot to be doing this in Hastings because we're a small town. And these things have to be happening in small communities as well as in big cities. I think it's a really important thing to see small communities taking responsibility and making their voices heard. Hopefully that will ripple on and join up with the bigger voices to create change.
Whole of the beachfront, it seems to me, as I've heard so many more and more people wanting to come on board with this, is going to be a stream of banners announcing that Hastings is a place that welcomes refugees. It's a message to identify our town as somewhere that does welcome refugees. And in my experience, having been teaching families English and having been active in the Buddy Project, whenever I speak to people in Hastings about it, people are just heartened to hear that that's happening here, and maybe hadn't heard about it. And so this is about just announcing and re-identifying this town as, you know, somewhere that welcomes refugees in all its diversity. It's a diverse town in some ways, and that makes it a healthier place.
I think it's important that we held this protest today because there are no safe passages for refugees to enter the United Kingdom, and because of that people are extremely desperate and they're having to undertake a dangerous journey across the Channel to reach the UK. And I think in the time of COVID-19, where everyone in the world is feeling its effects, refugees are at the bottom of the pile and we must not forget them.
Today is a really significant, what we did today on the beach is immense, because when you've had to leave home as a refugee, you have probably experienced a traumatic journey to get to safety. So once you go through that trauma, that traumatic experience of leaving home to get to safety, you want to be welcomed. You don't want to reach a country with borders and barriers, because you've been through trauma to get to your safety and you want people to welcome you. And to me, I think being on the beach with a sign that says "We welcome refugees," that is inviting them in and putting your arms around someone that has come to seek shelter.
We need to get new bill amendments in place that make it safe, make safe passage for families, for anyone that is in danger or anyone that needs to be treated with humanity.
And today I was so happy because I saw English people welcome a refugee, and this make me, I feel like I'm in my home, and I feel this is my country, and we always welcome refugees.
Today's been an amazing day actually. Today we were celebrating the fact that Hastings is a community that welcomes refugees. We also were celebrating that we're a community and that we stand together against the hostile environment which is responsible for the many deaths at the hands of deportation organisations. We were remembering today, for example, Joy Gardner, who died 27 years ago, and 10 years ago the death of Jimmy Mbenga. And these are people whose names we want to keep alive, because it's not acceptable that people should die whilst being deported under the hostile environment which doesn't treat people seeking refuge fairly in this country. These are projections which are saying lots of different messages which we've collected from talking to local people about how they feel about welcoming refugees. I mean, today came together because of the efforts of so many people. We had I think we had about 28, 29 banners at the banner drop today. These were made by local people, handmade banners that people made in the last 2 weeks. There was a whole load of excitement leading up. There were people stewarding today. There were people making films, taking photographs. Basically, a whole community came together to celebrate. There were people doing food collections. Again, people collected food to send to Calais, and we want to thank everybody that's taken part in today's action and celebrations of Hastings welcoming refugees.